everybody. Today we're going to start the apron. I've gotten a lot of feedback about this and I'm really excited to help you learn how to make, maybe it's your first apron, or you just want to make this cute little 1920s apron. This is the one we're going to make. So, the yardage that you will need is going to be 1 3/4 yards, or just to be sure you have enough. Well, this is 36-inch wide fabric, so your fabric will be wider. So you should be able to get by with 1 3/4 inches, unless you want to use vintage fabric. This fabric, like I said, is 36 inches wide. So if you are using vintage fabric, then you will need at least 60 inches of that 36-inch wide fabric. What I am going to do is I'm going to show you how to lay out the fabric pieces today. I'm going to do this video in parts, like part 1, part 2, part 3, so I could walk you through each part. Now, you're saying, well, what about my apron? Well, this is what I decided to do. I decided to make you girls, make this pattern accessible to you. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to cut out pieces like the originals. And I'm going to offer this only to my subscribers. So if you subscribe to my channel and you comment on this video, you will be able to purchase this item. You can go to my email, bobbette.griffin@gmail, and that email will be in the description. If you're not where the description is, if you're watching this video, there's like a little arrow under the subscription word. There's like a little down arrow. If you click on that, then the description box falls open. And it has all kinds of notes from me, and it has links and instructions and things like that. So you can order this pattern. It will be $8, postage paid to you. So once I post these how-to videos, these tutorials on this apron, you'll be able to go back. Once you get your pattern, you'll be able to go back and watch the video and know step by step how to begin yours. So we don't have to begin together. You can begin next week or 2 weeks from now, or whenever. But I think this is like a cute little apron. It only has 4 pieces. So that's super simple to put together. I mean, the only thing more simple is if it had like 1 piece and some straps. And that would be kind of a boring apron. You still could make it cute, but anyway, you know what I'm saying. It's only got 4 pieces, so it's going to be super easy for you to make. I'm even going to show you how to apply this binding to the edge. Now these came in like really narrow strips that you could apply. It was pre-made. It came like in a package, and you could buy it for aprons and blanket bindings and just whatever you wanted to have, like a really cute contrasting or decorative edge. And I'll show you how to apply that to your apron like a pro. It's not hard. You just need to know how. So let's get started on laying this out. Now let me reiterate, if you want to buy this pattern, you have to subscribe to my channel and you have to leave a comment on this video in the comments section. So if you're watching my video and you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a comments area and you can leave a comment, okay? And then this will be $8 postage paid to you, but you'll have to send me your payment through PayPal. And when you send me your email, I'll tell you how to do that through PayPal, and I will send you your apron pattern. And I'll put I'll make a photocopy and put this cute little directions thing on your apron packet, and then the pattern pieces will be inside with the instructions, but you'll also have my instructional videos to watch. Okay, got it? So it'll be a fun little project. So from start to finish, it should take you, if you're a beginner sewer, it could take you 4 hours. If you're already have sewing experience, it shouldn't take you any longer than 2 hours from start to finish. Okay, so let me explain to you something about these antique pieces. They look like this. This is the skirt piece. And these little holes that they punched in, if you can see them in the pattern pieces, are instructions. And it also has like an A right here punched, so telling you that this is piece A. But your pattern pieces will have more instructions on them than this. Okay? Now, I need to tell you that this offer for this pattern is for a limited time. So, like if you try to order this pattern from me a year from now, if you're still watching my videos, it will not be available. So this will only be available until September 1st of 2019. Okay, so let's get started on this. So this is the edge of the skirt pattern, this edge up here. And this is what you'll lay on the fold, which means that you simply take your piece of fabric and fold it in half and make sure your selvage edges, the selvages are the finished edge on one side, from side to side. That's how wide your fabric is, from selvage to selvage. So you lay your selvages together, nice and neat. If your fabric has any wrinkles in it, you're going to want to press those out. If your pattern pieces will come and have wrinkles in them, and you want to get an iron and lightly press out those wrinkles so that everything is nice and flat. Now this is vintage fabric I'm using. It's 36 inches wide. Now this pattern from 1920 is about to be 100 years old. So it's older than most of our grandmothers. If my grandmother was still living, she would be, I think, 127. So, but she was born in 1899, so there you go. I don't know if my math is exactly right on that. Don't like laugh at me math. It's not really my forte. Okay, so this here says yardage of material required, and it tells you 27 inch, 32, 36, and 40. Okay, so that tells you 1920 they were only making fabric that was up to 40 inches wide, which was new to me because I thought 36 was the limit. So what do I know? But here's proof that they did have 40 inch fabric. My fabric is 36 inches, and it tells me for a small, I'm going to need 1 3/8 yards. It tells me for a medium, I'm going to need 1 1/2 yards, and it tells me for a large, I'm going to need 1 5/8 yards. So what I've got is two pieces here. This piece is 30 inches, and this piece is 30 inches. There's two different pieces, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be in one continuous piece. The top of your apron and the bottom of your apron doesn't even have to match. You could do the bottom of your apron, the skirt, in a solid. You could do the top in a floral. Doesn't even have to match. You can do this however you want. You could do it in two different contrasting or complementing fabrics. You can do your apron out of one fabric and your straps out of another fabric. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you can mix and match and make it work. What I don't want you to do is make your apron boring. Be sure that you love, love, love the fabric that you pick out. Make sure it just makes you smile. So when you put on your apron, I want you to smile. Okay, so let's get back here. This piece is 36 inches wide. This one I'm holding in my hand here is 36 inches wide, and it is 30 inches long. So I am just going to make mine a little bit wider, which means I'm not going to put this edge of my pattern right at the fold. That will make my a little bit wider, a little bit to go around my waist that has thickened. You know, since I'm not 27 anymore, my waist is thicker than it used to be. So I'm going to add about 1 inch, which means I'm going to scoop my edge. It doesn't have to be a perfect inch, but I'm just going to make it, so that will make mine kind of like a medium size. Okay, once you get your pattern piece, your paper piece ironed, your fabric piece ironed, and your skirt piece laid out on your fabric. Remember, yours will come labeled skirt, apron skirt, okay? So you'll know for sure. You want to pin it. So you're going to want to pin with straight pins about 1/4 inch from the edge, because this is going to help you when you go to cut your fabric piece out. Okay, so I'm just going to add a few pins here, and then we're going to move on. Okay, so now I've got my skirt hemmed. I'm going to fold this piece of fabric over. That's my skirt. It's pinned. It's ready to be cut out. Then I've got my second piece of fabric here. I think you can see it in the video. Oops, my tablecloth is coming to. I'm just going to move it a little bit more center. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the pieces that you have left, remember I said there's only 4 pieces to this pattern, is you've got your skirt, you've got your strap, you've got your apron front, and you've got your pocket. Okay, so now I'm going to like lay these pieces aside, and I've got this piece of fabric. Remember I told you it was 36 inches wide. And I think I told you it was 30 inches long, but that's not exactly right. It is, hang on, measuring. Yes, it is. It's 30 inches. Okay, thought I made a mistake there. Okay, so it is 36 by 30. Okay, now you have to place your apron front on the fold also. So you're not going to fold the entire piece of fabric. You're just going to fold one side wide enough to accommodate your apron front. Okay, so I've got it folded about like that. Okay, I'll lay this back down, and I'm going to put my pattern piece on here. Okay, I need a little bit more, because remember I added about an inch right here, so I'm going to add about an inch to the front of my, I'm going to put the edge of my pattern about an inch from the fold, because I also did that on my skirt. And I'm going to put in, I want like a medium-sized apron. I don't want it to be like too small. I got to get it around this middle piece. Okay, so I put in some strategic pins. Now, you have this strap piece here, and you are going to need 2 of these. So, okay, I have the light messed up on already. You're going to need to, I'm going to need to fold this completely in half so I can get these strap pieces on here. Thought I could have some scraps left over, but okay. That whole second piece will have to be completely folded in half. You get what I'm saying? Okay, now I've got these pins strategically placed, and I'm going to move on to the strap piece. So because it's on the fold, when you cut these out, you will have 2. Okay? You will have, when you cut these out, you'll have 2. You'll have 1 apron front. When you unfold it, it will be your apron front. You will have 2 straps. They fit on here perfectly, right next to the apron front. And then our illustration has 2 pockets. So if you lay this pocket piece on here strategically, you will also cut out 2 pockets. I think I'm going to have to like move this strap piece over so that I can get my pocket piece on here. Now, it's going to be like a little tight there, but it is going to fit barely, and that's all that matters. Okay, so then I've got all 4. Once I pin these down, I will have all 4 of my pattern pieces ready to cut out with my fabric scissors. Okay, I'm back. I had to go get my shears. You will need to get yourself a pair of Gingers or Fiskars, a pair of cutting scissors that you only use for fabric. You want to be sure that you hide them and keep them away so they don't get used for anything else, and they're always sharp and ready to go. Okay, so I decided not to cut these off camera so that you could like see how I do this. So I pin all these little pieces down, like I said, about a 1/4 inch or so from the edge, and then I just cut around each piece, and these pattern pieces have little notches in them, a few, not very many, but these little notches are just like the notches in modern pattern pieces, and they help you know where to fit the 2 pieces together. So that's going to be helpful. Like I said, the pattern will come with instructions, and then you will have this instructional video to watch if you're confused. And so you shouldn't have any problem with putting it together, because we're going to go over, after I get these cut out in part two, I will show you, we'll go over to the machine and we'll start to assemble our pattern pieces. Okay, one thing I was going to say about this like little pocket piece is this is a very small pocket, and I like large pockets on my aprons because you never know what you need to put in there. Mail, Kleenex. I mean, there's just like, if you're going out to the coop, you know, big enough to hold like a couple of eggs. You know, I need like a big pocket. So I am going to cut this pocket larger, and I will give you 2 options in your pattern for the pocket. I'll give you the original pocket size and then a larger pocket if you want to add a larger pocket. I think that's only fair because I don't like small pockets. Okay, so we have got this ready to cut out. And like I said, these are the straps. You just simply cut along the pattern piece. Slowly and carefully. Be sure that you don't have your pin too close to the edge, and you nick your scissors. You want to keep your pins away from the edge of the pattern so that that will damage your scissor. Okay, I've got it pinned to the tablecloth. Alright, so that's my strap piece. I've got a little bit more trimming to do on that one. This is my pocket, and like I said, I was going to cut this a wee bit bigger. So, because I don't like small pockets. I want to have a good sized pocket on my apron. Okay. Just going to move that piece over just a wee bit. Now this is the apron front. Like I said, it's on the fold. So now, this is a good time to tell you, when you come to these like little notches in your pattern, you're going to want to cut that notch out with your scissor. In your fashion fabric, your apron fabric. So that will be your guide once we start constructing the apron. You can cut those notches as you go along, or you can come back after the piece is completely cut out and then notch it. Now my pin is sticking out a little bit past the apron edge, so I'm going to be very careful not to cut it. Don't want to like make a gouge in my scissors, because then they won't cut properly. You want your fabric scissors to be razor sharp. And not dull. It's nothing more aggravating. So just wait until that big box store has like a 60% off one item and go and buy you a pair of gingers. You'll be so glad you did. Until then, you can just buy a pair of cheap, sharp Fiskars. I mean, Fiskars are not really that cheap, but cheaper than gingers. Okay, this has a notch in it, so I'm going to cut that out now, the top. Okay, so there is the apron front, the pocket, and the strap. So all I have to do now is cut out the, not going to have a whole lot of scrap, but these would be great for quilt restorations, or there's enough there for a contrasting pocket on another apron if I wanted to. And then this is the skirt of the apron here. So we're going to cut this out, and we will be all done. Now again, remember, if you're using modern fabric, it comes about 42 inches wide, and so you will probably only need a yard and a half, or a small to medium. If you're making a large, then you will need, I'll go ahead and get a yard and 3/4. Remember, on this, I'm making a medium. I used 36-inch wide fabric. I had two pieces that were 30 inches long, so they were 36 inches wide and 30 inches long. Remember, don't make a mistake and cut your fold. Pay attention to what you're doing. Uh-oh, I tapped on the table and made Twinkie bark. Okay, this one also has a notch. I'm going to go ahead and cut that. But I'll check those notches and stuff before I unpin my pattern to make sure that I have all of my notches cut, and I'm ready to put my pieces together. There's another one. The notches don't have to be very big. Twinkie, hush! Oh, my little chihuahua, she's a barker. Okay, so the 4 pieces are cut out. The skirt, the top of the apron, 2 straps, because we folded the fabric in half. I've got 2 identical strap pieces. I still need to trim this side off, okay, to look a little bit different. And pocket. Okay, so next we're gonna I'm gonna make sure I have all my notches cut out of my pattern pieces. I'm gonna leave them pinned together until I start to assemble piece by piece. So on Part 2 of this video, we will unpin our pattern pieces and we will start to sew them together at the machine. So remember, if you would like to purchase this particular pattern, I need for you to send me an email at bobbette.griffin at gmail.com. You need to be sure and subscribe to my channel and comment down below on this video. And then when I email you back, I'll send you the instructions to my PayPal account. The pattern will be $8, postage paid, and I will ship you your copy of this pattern with the instructions. And that pattern is going to be available until September 1st of 2019. So I hope to see you guys back in just a couple of days, and we'll start on putting our apron together. Happy Saturday, everybody. Bye-bye.